Now I think you'll be part of the three.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at the time, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Only one person on right now.
Okay, like this? Okay. My wife was in education. So, yeah, she got first. Of course, this year, the rank she won. Got another one. All right, I'm not going away. That's exactly right.
Welcome, graduates, and to our families and friends watching via YouTube, to our biannual Felony Drug Court graduation. Please join me in welcoming to the podium Jacob F. from the 226th District Court to lead us in the serenity prayer.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Now please join me for a moment of silence for the addicts who are still suffering, followed by the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to still the things that cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you, Jacob. And now for our host, the Honorable Judge Ernie Glenn.
Thank you, Ashley. And welcome, everybody. I'm very proud of the graduates who are here today. And I'm really glad that Ashley didn't give me a really long introduction and talk all about me, because I have to introduce Judge Sakai a little bit later, and I had to take a book and cut it down to something a little smaller. But we'll get around to that later. But anyway, I want to welcome everybody to another graduation from Felony Drug Court. It's really a testament to you guys, your perseverance, that you're here today graduating, because during the past almost 20 years that I've been working with drug court, these past 2 years, I think, past year and a half for sure, have been the toughest I've ever seen. And that's just because of so many different things going on out there with COVID-19, higher rates of depression. There's just so much going on, so many pressures, that the fact that you're here today really does say a lot about you, says a lot about your character. So I'm very proud of each and every one of you. Now, I want to welcome all those folks who are watching, whether they're from home or from work or wherever. We are celebrating this way, virtually, because of COVID-19. We want to protect our families. We want to protect the community. We want to make sure everybody is as healthy and happy as they can be. But I have a lot of people that I need to acknowledge, and I want to start with some special folks who are watching from the Applewhite Treatment Center right now, some people from Felony Drug Court, and I'm told that they're also watching this on the live stream. not mentioning their last names, that is our way, but, David S., Raymond R., Brandon D., Marco S., Vincent B. I hope all you guys are doing fine and that you're here. I know that your prayers are here with the graduates who are finishing this part of the program today. Now, acknowledgements. Got a lot of people to acknowledge, so I'll get through this pretty quickly. It doesn't mean that none of these folks are important, none of these groups are important, because they all are, but there's a lot that we need to go over today to get through our program. We got to do all the presentations too, and I really want Judge Sakai to have a chance to speak, and I'll get into that a little bit more later. You know, I want to thank the Bexar County Community Supervision and Corrections Department for all the hard work that they do. Chief Jarvis Anderson, we got Emil Huggins, our court manager that's here. Of course, there's Mark Hewitt, Lillian Sanchez, Frenchie Garcia, Cat Ledger. Those are probation officers that work extremely hard for all of you folks, and they do things a little bit differently than on the regular probation dockets, because they want to see you do well. I cannot say those probation officers don't want to see their probationers do well, but these guys are really invested into this, and they put their hearts and souls into you guys. Sometimes you think they're being a little too hard on you. They're calling you out or one thing or the other, but they actually want you to do well, just like the rest of us do. And I want to thank all of our treatment providers. We've got quite a few. There's Alpha Home, the Center for Healthcare Services, Conceivable Resolutions, that's Kenny G, of course, Elite Counseling, Rosetta Key, the SATA facility, DDRF, ISF, Safety 2, VOA, Lifetime Recovery, NAS, and Sakai, because of the work that they do for our community. The drug court case managers and support staff, probably, of course, they're folks that are near and dear to my heart too. But these guys put their heart and soul into this work too. And believe me, they do this because they love this work. They love seeing what happens with you guys that come through this program. So, I want to thank Elsa, Ashley, Jim, CJ, David, and of course, Aaron, our clerk, Roxanne, and our court manager, Diana Samaron, who makes sure that everything happens every day. She certainly makes me look good, because without her, I'd probably mess up everything every day. But it's the work these folks do is just amazing, and I'm always impressed. I want to thank our defense attorneys. These are guys who really buy into what we do in drug court, and they really do care. And I think they would all love to take my job when I leave. One of those is Ted Wood, and the other is Charles Gold, and then there's Lee Hahn. These are folks who really, really care, and they do a great job. And for the past couple of years, we've actually, well, a little more than, I guess, almost 2 years now, we've had the district attorney's office involved as never before, thanks to our DA, Joe Gonzalez. We've had Michael Cohen and Tony Hafferville working with us as assistant DAs. They're both first-year felony level prosecutors. These guys are chief prosecutors. They were assigned to work with us because of their knowledge and experience, and because they wanted to. They had the desire to do this. And I thank the Bexar County Sheriff's Office for everything that they do too. They put up with a lot from me. When you guys have to do a jail sanction for the weekend, they don't really like that, because it's a book in and book out just a couple of days. But they put up with it, and it makes a difference. Because how often have I heard you guys come back and tell me I needed that couple of days to clear my head and think and get things together, and then go on and do a great job after that. Sometimes it really does help. And special thanks for our officers, our courtroom officers, Angela Metcalf and Michael Granado. And Mike Granado where's Mike? There he is. Mike has been working with me for, I guess, pretty much the entire time I've been judge of this court, which is 14 years now. So I really appreciate having Officer Granado with me. And you know what? Just like you guys learn and change, so has he. He's not nearly as hard and difficult to get along with as he used to. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Judge. But anyway, I appreciate the work that they do. We have volunteers, interns that work with us off and on. Right now, we have Cindy Bookie, who's been working with us for some time. She's over here. I really appreciate Cindy. She's a volunteer. She's not required to be here. She wants to be here to work with you folks and see all these changes that are made. It's heartening for me to see these things happen. We have Rebecca Trister, who is a new intern that's working with us now, and she is over there. Okay. And someone that we all know and love, our Captain Eloy Fernandez, who was case manager probably for some of you guys back when you first started. So, welcome Eloy. It's good having you here with us again today. And now, with the Bexar County Auditor's Office, we have the folks that make sure that things get paid for. There's Teresa Barrientos, Noreen Olasa, Eddie Rodriguez, and I have to thank the Bexar County Criminal District judges, because they're the ones who make sure you get a chance to do this. And they're the ones who sent you over here recognizing that it's going to make a difference, not only for you, but for the community at large and for them too. So, I want to thank all the criminal district judges for everything that they do and for the faith they have in us, because that's why they send you here, because they know that we're going to work with you. If you're going to change, it's going to make a big difference. And we have the Bexar County Criminal District Court Administration, headed up by Ana Michi. She's supported with Maria Salinas, Denise Salcedo, and Denise is pretty important too, because she helps us get all kinds of supply and things to make sure we're able to operate on a daily basis. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the Bexar County Commissioners Court. They provide us with a facility. They make sure I get a paycheck every month. They make sure that everything is covered, and we're happy that that's all taken care of. County Manager's Office, the County Manager oversees pretty much everything that happens in the county, so definitely we have to thank them for making sure that everything is covered too, and that the budget is balanced every year. We have the Bexar County Department of Criminal Justice, headed up by Mike Lozito. He's a huge supporter of the different things that we do. There's the Bexar County Reentry Center next door that provides all kinds of services that you guys can take advantage of, whether it's looking for work, working on a resume, some counseling of different sorts, GEDs. They got all kinds of things to help out. There's the University Health Systems ROARS and the ROARS Plus program. The Bexar County Drug Court Alumni Association. We're represented by a couple of our alumni here today, including Richard Martinez, who is the president of the association. Okay, so that's basically the people that we need, that I would like to thank and recognize today for all the different things that they do. And now I think it's actually time for me to introduce our keynote speaker. And I did work on this for quite a bit, Judge Sakai. Sure. Well, I shortened it quite a bit. If I put everything on there that I saw, this would be huge. But, it starts. Judge Sakai was born and raised in Rio Grande Valley in South Texas. He holds a Bachelor of Arts degree from the University of Texas, where he also got his law degree. And I personally have known Judge Sakai for his entire legal career, because we both started working in the district attorney's office in the same year. He beat me by about 3 or 4 months in starting, but he was assigned over to the civil and juvenile division, where he worked for quite a few years, and I was assigned to the adult criminal division, where I worked for quite a number of years. And it's interesting that Judge Sakai went on, say, into the civil sector, where he runs the Family Drug Treatment Court now, amongst other things. And here I am on the criminal side with the Felony Drug Court. But Judge Sakai's experience is, well, quite a bit. Not only was he in the district attorney's office, but after that, he was the chief of the juvenile section. After that, he did a short stint in private practice, and I say short, because he was only there for a few years before he was appointed as the juvenile master referee to the 289th District Court. And next, he was appointed as the judge for the Children's Court, where he heard cases involving child abuse and neglect, and the adoption cases involving foster children. And then in 2006, Judge Sakai was elected to the 225th District Court, and he's presided over that court ever since. He's been widely recognized as a leader who works hard to bring new ideas and solutions to resolve child abuse and neglect issues, along with family violence. He constantly challenges the child welfare system to more effectively serve the families that come into his courtroom with the goal of preventing child abuse and neglect. And he's carried that on into the family drug treatment court system, where he's actually expanded that program into other programs that work underneath the same heading. Under his leadership, adoption of foster children in Bexar County increased nearly 1,000% over his 10-year tenure, and Bexar County now routinely leads the state of Texas for the number of foster children adopted into permanent homes. And folks, that's a big deal. The fact that it's increased by 1,000%, that's great work. And I kept reading all the different awards that he's received, and it would take me half an hour to read over all of them and tell you what they are. So we're not going to do that. I do want to point out that he was acknowledged by Governor George W. Bush for his ingenuity, so that's a pretty big deal too. But what I want to present to you folks today, Judge Peter Sakai, a man who has dedicated his life to helping and serving the county as well as the community.
Oh, I hate these masks, but that's just the way it is, huh? Well, good afternoon, Judge Glenn. Y'all have heard how far back we go, which means that's why he's got little hair and my hair is all white. So, Ernie, we keep going. I think drug court is the oldest, and I think my family drug court was right under that. I think my predecessor and mentor, Judge John Speaker, created the family drug court. I took that over, and we created now an early childhood court, baby court. For those that aren't aware, we focus in on the cases, CPS cases, Child Protective Service cases where children are removed, and basically we work to try to put those children back with their parents. We've been very successful. Just to kind of help y'all understand, this has been an evolution. I mean, back when we first started, nothing like this would have really taken hold. Basically, go to the courthouse, pay your fine, go to jail. You don't pay your fines, go to jail, go to jail, go to jail. Right, Ernie? And then you get time served. Then you screw up again. Go to jail, go to jail, go to jail. And in the CPS world it's basically the same thing. Get your kids removed, get your rights terminated, get another kid, get your rights terminated, get another kid, get your rights terminated. Do y'all understand the definition of insanity? Of doing the same thing over and over and over. So Ernie, we've been in the trenches, so job well done. I know you still got some gas in the tank, and so do I, but I am going to move on to other paths of life. But I wanted to just say thank you for giving me this opportunity. I have at times covered for Ernie, and Ernie's covered for me in our various drug courts. And so we've been able to share in that. I want to thank his staff for being there for me when I came over and covered the docket, and I appreciate my staff who's welcomed Ernie. And so basically, as you can tell, Ernie and I are very good friends. And we serve on the state board of the Texas Association of Specialty Courts. So we're there day in and day out advocating for these programs. I just need y'all to understand these programs aren't free, and so those people that Ernie recognized are so important to make sure that these programs continue. And where you as graduates come in, and this is what I always tell my graduates in my course, You now have a duty to give back. You have now a duty to pay forward. You have a duty to help somebody who's behind you, who needs a helping hand, who needs to be told, hey, you got to get to these drug courts, and you got to straighten your life out, and you got to make good choices. So, Ernie, I was wondering what I was going to say to your graduates, and I'm just going to go ahead and I want to share a story with you, if y'all don't mind stories. You know, there's a movie that pops in, and I know everybody's got cable, or you don't even have cable no more. You know, you got Netflix and everything. That's kind of throwing me off. But if you watch TV, I guess that's still the word to say. There's an old movie called The Wizard of Oz. You guys remember that movie? And if you haven't, you're like, well, what movie is that? You know, it's an old movie, but it has a message in it that I want to share with you, and to help you understand where you've been, where you're at today, and hopefully where you're going. If you remember The Wizard of Oz, there's Dorothy, the little girl, and she lives with her aunt and uncle, and she gets upset and she takes off and she's running away from home. And basically she starts her journey, right? And there's a tornado and she's taken to just faraway land. You know, it's all a movie, all right? Okay, so don't get too literal with it. And basically she lands in a place where she doesn't know. And what is Dorothy looking for? Dorothy's looking for home. She wants to go back home, but she doesn't know how. And so when she arrives in this faraway land, who does she meet? She meets what they call munchkins. That's probably not a proper politically correct term, but little small people. And they're very much like our world today. People that live in their own lives, people that live in their own community, people that just pay attention to what they care for, their family, their neighborhoods. They don't care about nothing else. So when she's basically saying, hey, how do I get home? The munchkins at this point go there. You gotta go see the Wizard of Oz. Emerald City, go. Follow the yellow brick road. Remember? Follow the yellow brick road. And so she goes on her journey. And along the way, she meets the Scarecrow. And the Scarecrow basically been in his field, and he comes alive. And what is he looking for? He's looking for a brain. He says, I need a brain. I don't know, if I don't have a brain, I can't function. She says, well, come with me. I'm looking for home. You're looking for a brain. The next person they run into is the Tin Man. Tin Man's all rusted. He's standing there. They get him all loosened up, and he finally speaks. And what's he looking for? He's looking for a heart, because he's a Tin Man. And so he's like, well, where do I go? Come with us. We're going to go to the Wizard of Oz. We'll get you that heart. And then they meet the cowardly lion. This lion that's scared of himself. And he's basically going, what's he looking for? He's looking for courage. Because he's a scared old fella. Even though he's supposedly the lion of the jungle, the king of the jungle, he's looking for courage. And so what do they tell him? Let's go. We're going to go together. And let's go find the Wizard of Oz. Along the way, what happens? Dorothy falls asleep in the poppy field, right? You remember that? No different than where you were at, right? Drugs, alcohol, fell asleep, couldn't function, didn't get up, didn't go to work, sat in jail, right? And so basically, I think the good witch comes and wakes her up and pulls her out and gets her going. And then where else do they go? They go and they work together. And that's the journey they're on. They learn to work together, to help each other, to connect, to find a common goal for whatever they want. Dorothy the home, the Scarecrow the brain, the Tin Man the heart, the lion his courage. Then remember there's that scary scene where they're in the apple orchards, right? And these trees come alive and all these apples get thrown at them. What's that all about? Isn't that the life of people who have mental health issues? They live in nightmares. They live scared. They're afraid of the trees. They can't separate the trees in the forest. Perhaps you have been there yourself. And finally, they get to the point where they're getting close, and what do? They get jumped on by those flying monkeys, which always freak me out. And you go, what's that about? Isn't that the communities perhaps you were in, where you got people crying, your old gang members, people that just tell you, let's go do stuff, and you get in trouble, right? And what happens is that basically they were supposed to go get this broom right from the Wicked Witch. And that was their goal. That was what the Wizard of Oz told them. And you remember the Wizard of Oz worked in this big, scary place, this hall with smoke and mirrors and lightning and thunder. No different than Judge Glenn. He's just making the smoke and the thunder, lightning go, scaring the heck out of you.
It's more than smoke.
It's more than smoke, okay. Yeah, Jim could be a bit more than smoke. But bottom line is, he charged them and says, go and get that task, go do it. And they had to come together. And they had to work as a group. And they got that broom, and they took it back to the wizard, and basically go, okay, give us what we got you the broom, now give us what we want. And what did the Wizard of Oz says? Scarecrow, you always have your brain. Tin Man, you always had your heart. Lion, you always had your courage. Dorothy, you know where home is. You just needed to realize that you have to appreciate it to find out where you have to go. So where I leave you today, graduates, is the fact that y'all have worked very hard in this struggle. Judge Glenn is, again, with the thunder, I'll say thunder and the lightning, has helped y'all guide your way through. But y'all made it because you came to your realization of what you had to do. Whether it was recognizing your home, your family, and reconnecting with them. When you came to realize, you know what, I ain't so stupid. I got a brain. And you know what, I don't have to be so mean and angry because I got a heart. And I can show compassion for my family, my friends, my loved ones. And you do have courage. You don't have to be scared so long you understand that's what's driving them. And that's why the counseling, the therapy, and the staff are all so important. Because they help you come to that self-realization. As that old song, I think it's the old 70s group, America. There's a song titled, Tin Man, Oz didn't give nothing to you that you didn't already have. So you guys know what it means to have a home, to have a family, to have your loved ones. Y'all know what it takes to succeed in today's world. You know that you have to have heart and compassion. You can't just be saying, well, I made it, I don't care about nobody else. And you got to have courage. You can't be afraid. So with that, graduates, our charge to you that y'all have passed this phase of life. You're now on your own. You hope to have learned the many things that this team has taught you. And I wish you the very best. God bless y'all. Thank you.
And before you go, Judge Sakai, we have a special award for you today. And we've only given out a couple of these before. This is the Bexar County Felony Drug Court Champion. And to Oliver P. Sakai, we have something special for you. It's a beautiful champion's belt.
Oh my gosh. They're gonna think I was a boxing champ. Thank y'all very much. I really appreciate it. Good weapon.
I know it's going to get lost with the other 2,000 or 3,000.
No, this one, I hope it's special. It is special. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Judge Sakai, for being with us today. We appreciate your leadership. Great. Okay, Bill, you're on. All right.
There are 24 drug court participants completing the program today, and we've chosen 2 individuals to share their testimonials with you. However, first I want to dovetail off of what Judge Sakai was saying, and I want to reflect on the importance of all 24 graduates and their successes. You know, completing the drug court program has been important to them individually and their families. However, it is also extremely important to the participants that are to come and to follow them. However, it is the $1,000 drug court fee doesn't even come close to covering, what it costs to have this program. Funding for the program is not based on just your successful completion of this program, but also what you're going to do for the years to come after this. The felony drug court in the future. This will be the matrix to determine future funding for the program. Will other participants and their families have the opportunities for a more stable life? Your circle of influence is much more greater today than you actually realize. I encourage all 24 graduates to keep doing the next right thing. It makes a difference on a very large scale. Now let's get to know about more of our speakers and their journey through the felony drug program. Please help me welcome Bo M. Bo is a graduate from the 290th District.
Good afternoon. If you would have told the 18-year-old me that his life could take a complete 180 in the next 15 years was going to be completely consumed with extreme substance abuse, illegal activities, and countless shameful acts, I would have said you're completely out of your mind. You obviously know nothing about me. I'm a National Honor Society student, first team all-district football player, on the way to University of Texas at Austin on an academic scholarship. UT was the only school I applied to. There was never a doubt what I was going to do. I was one of only 7% of the freshman applicants who get accepted to the College of Pharmacy. Everything was going exactly as I've always imagined. But between the lack of dedication, hanging out with the wrong people, and losing focus on why I was there, I failed every single class, fell directly on my face. I came back to San Antonio ashamed and experienced something I've never experienced to this extent before in my life: failure. I failed myself, I lost my dream, but what killed me the most was I failed my parents. They have been and still are my biggest supporters. Looking back, I know that I was just beating myself up, but my young mind cannot get past the fact that I failed. While my drug use started in Austin with weed and an occasional pill, I came back to San Antonio dead set on numbing the feeling of shame that I could not overcome. I drank heavily daily and smoked as much as I could get my hands on. But over time, this still wasn't enough. Hanging out with my friends, I would have drunken crying spells, until one night my friend said, "Bro, you're not the same. You're never happy. You're always moping around. How would you like to forget everything for just one night?" After months of drinking myself to blackout, I was down to do anything to change how I felt. I did one line of coke. Not even 10 minutes later, I pulled out my wallet, handed my friend $100. I said, "Told him, get as much as you can for this." After that first time, I thought to myself, I never want to not be high. My drug addiction had progressed at such a rapid pace that before I knew it, I had a needle in my arm because it was not hitting me any other way. Then the coke stopped, so I upgraded my addiction to meth. I made several attempts to get off drugs with rehabs. I even joined the Air Force, only to get a bad convict discharge for failure to adapt due to substance abuse. For the next 8 years, I only surrounded myself with people that had the same intentions as me, losing all connections from my prior life. I was willing to do anything to get drugs or money for drugs. I completely wrecked my parents' life and they lost a son that they nurtured and loved. I wouldn't contact them for months at a time, and they often wondered if I was even alive. I ran wild with no consequences until 2013 when I picked up my first charges. 2 counts of forgery and 1 count of possession. My parents paid thousands of dollars to keep me out of prison, and how did I repay them? The day I got out on bond, I ran off, and they're catching 2 more felonies 10 days later. Theft in a motor vehicle, evading arrest in a motor vehicle. I was able to get bonded out of magistrate and was on the run for 2 more months, where I was picked up for 5 felony warrants and a first-degree possession of 4,200 with intent to deliver. I waited in jail for 130 days and eventually got bonded out 2 weeks before my hearing. When I went to court, they tried to send me to safety, so I ran out the courtroom and ripped off my ankle monitor. I was on the run, so I got picked up again for another first-degree felony, 4,200 with intent to deliver. I ended up going to safety after all and getting 10 years deferred. And when I got out, I stayed sober in the halfway house. But when I came back to San Antonio, it wasn't even a month until I was getting high and running with the same people. I ended up violating my probation and serving a 45-day jail sanction. But just prior, I met my fiance and now mother of my beautiful baby girl. She was in drug court and opened my eyes to change my life. Our love blossomed quickly, and soon we discovered a baby was on the way. I always wanted a family. I thought it might be the key to keep me clean, but sadly, it was not. I continued using during her pregnancy, dragging her along with me. I endangered my child's life and jeopardized my fiance's recovery. On October 29, 2019, our beautiful baby girl, Amethyst Marie, was born, but my experience was jaded due to the fact that I was coming down in the delivery room. I might have stayed clean a week, but it wasn't long until I was living with no regards to my new responsibility. And I would have not stopped if it was not for drug court putting a no contact order between me and my fiance. In fear of losing my family, when CPS get involved, I surprised myself and joined drug court. The very first day I joined, knowing that I was unable to stop on my own, I asked Judge Glenn to lock me up. I ended up spending 6 months in the COVID outbreak. And when I got out, I did 45 days in lifetime recovery. After I got out of rehab, I went to an Oxford home and was able to meet a supportive group of people in recovery that I work out with and still talk to on a daily basis. That time away from my family gave me time to reflect. I had to decide, did I really want to waste all this clean time and revert back to my old ways? Or was I going to take advantage of a terrific opportunity and change my life for good? I've had a few bumps in the road, but for the most part, I've had nothing but the most amazing things happen to me since I joined this program. My family was able to stay together. I've had my first license to become a plumber. I have my own place, own my own vehicle. I regained my family's trust, but most important of all, I have my life back. I'm able to be proud of myself again. Thank you for giving me a second chance at life, a life that I plan on making the most out of every single day. I also feel so extremely fortunate to have my parents still in my corner, loving me without question. To have such a beautiful daughter that I love to show off with the most amazing, loving woman. I love you, baby. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Great job. Our next speaker is Claudia G. from 437th District Court.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Claudia Gonzalez. I'm a mother of 2 children. I graduated top 10 of my class.
I also had my own music band where I played guitar, which is about the Trister. I was the lead vocalist of our family band. I have worked in the dental field for over 17 years. I can say I had a good life at one point. Where did I go wrong? First, let me share my story in hopes to possibly help others preserve their hopes and continue to keep fighting for sobriety. I grew up in a very strict, disciplined Mexican family household. Both of my parents never consumed alcohol, used drugs. They never even smoked cigarettes. At age 23, I had my first alcoholic beverage and started drinking on the weekends to socialize and unwind. At 25, I became involved in my first serious relationship. I got married and had my daughter. I also became a victim of severe domestic violence. And my drinking nightmare began from drinking only on weekends to every day. I never knew I had a problem until 2013 when I was arrested with my first. I was sentenced to 6 months TDC and was released after 4.5 months for good behavior. Going to jail was not easy for me, but I now realize that I needed to be in there. It helped me understand and appreciate the true meaning and value of life, family, and most importantly, my freedom. I stayed sober for 4 years with the help of outpatient treatment at Lifetime Recovery. Unfortunately, in 2018, my recovery collapsed when I went back to the toxic relationship with the father of my children. He was released from prison after 2.5 years, and I returned to my prison of addiction. In October of 2017, I was charged with my second DWI with child under age of 15. And that is how I ended up in drug court in March of 2019. When I was asked to be a speaker, I thought to myself, why me? Reason being, I had quite a challenging experience with drug court from the beginning. I was lost, angry, and confused. And I didn't know who I was because I built my life on lies of disappointment. Along with that, I had people tell me that drug court would either break me or make me, and not many people could finish this rigid program. They told me to find a different attorney if they were going to try to put me in this program. However, me being stubborn, I stepped up to the challenge and accepted drug court. I brought all my doubts, secrets, and manipulation, and my journey began. The second time being, this is life or death. I thought, these people are so dramatic. I continued my line and trying to get away with driving without a license, which, by the way, is a huge violation in drug court. I was introduced to methamphetamine by the one and only my ex. I pushed my manipulation further with not only being honest about my new drug use, I replaced my old addiction for a worse addiction, which jeopardized my life and put me in a very serious situation. CPS became involved due to my positive UAs and positive sweat patches. This was all thanks to my negligence on not wanting to follow the rules and also not keeping myself away from my toxic and evil ex. I continued to get jail weekend sanctions, which added more problems because CPS is not going to allow any more relapses or mistakes. I finally got my reality check and decided I needed to stop the BS and get my life straight for the sake of myself and my children who needed me. You see, I am the only parent my children have, so serious changes were necessary. I no longer wanted to be everyone's burden and the family disappointment, especially for my children. Some changes took longer than others did, and some were painful, but I needed to change. This was when I acknowledged that my addiction was life or death for me. This intense program has many demands and holds us accountable, which is why it works. Not only does drug court help us get clean and sober, it can push limits. It teaches us to use the tools we learn. For those of you who have Mr. Robles, be prepared. He will make your life difficult if you are discipleful. However, when I look back on all the times he made me want to lose it, I can thank him now for that. I learned how to be honest, to pick my battles instead of arguing my point or lying when caught. Most importantly, I learned to not give up because things get hard. After many lessons learned, within 6 months, my CPS case was closed and I felt determined and resilient. With the support of my father and employer, I am now the woman I needed to be, finally. The people around me. If you are here, it is. Do not ever think it is by accident or because you were caught. Everyone has potential and can change. To my fellow graduates, our choices. Be proud of all that you have accomplished, less than what you deserve. Keep doing what you have been doing to bring yourself to this point and continue to set goals and accomplish them in a solid MRT class. Do not let it be your last accomplishment in life. Do not end up back where you started, only to continue the cycle of addiction. Push yourself to achieve more. It does not matter where we are now, but where we are going. Figure out who you want to be and define yourself. Do not settle for the negative labels. Feed your talent. Learn something new every day. Step out of your comfort zone and know your worth. Put your recovery first and everything. Special thanks to I'm very proud to be. Support for putting up with me, and I mean it. Today, I am honored to speak on behalf of the very board. I hope you all feel excited and relieved as I do and are saying, I graduated, I did it. Know that if we can complete drug court, we can do anything. My real journey starts now. The true test starts now. And I can truly say, I am ready.
Thank you, Claudia. You're a very good spokesperson for drug court. Now it's time for the certificate presentation. Each graduate has written a short statement to thank those that helped them throughout their time in drug court. Ariel C. from the 26th District Court. From the beginning, I have been grateful to my probation officer, Francesca Garcia, and my case manager, Elsa Guajardo. Since I began the program, both women have been advocates in providing me with great support system for a healthy transition into a clear and productive life, and helped me see that I have so much more to offer moving forward. Elijah C. from the 187th District Court. Drug court in general made a huge impact on my life and the way I view things. They really helped me open my eyes and show what I need to do to succeed and not waste my potential. I thank everyone I have crossed paths with in this journey. Jacob F. from the 226th District Court. I would like to thank Judge Glenn and the rest of the drug court team for all the help they provided to get my life back on track and more discipline. I am grateful for all the outside resources they sent me to, especially the counseling, where I was able to express myself and learn there is more to life than drugs and unhealthy living. Valeria F. from the 187th District Court. I believe the whole experience of CPS coming into my life at one point has helped me get through drug court. The thought of losing my kids is something I never want to go through. Diana F. from the 187th District Court. Ashley always helped me to see the light at the end of the tunnel and made me feel like I was valued. She helped me stay positive even when things were ugly. Claudia G. from the 437th District. I would like to let the drug court staff know that I am and will be forever grateful for ingraining me in the confidence, hope, strength, and love, and drive to live my life clean and sober. I thank Judge Lynn for never losing patience and hope in me. Matt H. from the 399th District. I would like to thank Jim and Tammy for always believing and advocating for me. David Simler, I want to thank you sincerely for showing up in court and battling with the DA not to send me to prison. Judge Glenn, thank you for taking the time to get to know me as a person and for giving me the opportunity to be in drug court. You're an amazing judge and an even better person. It's been an honor getting to know you. Vicky K from the 144th District Court. I just want to say thank you to Judge Glenn for staying on me and pushing me to change my life, my way of life, and become a better person. Also, thanks to Ashley for believing in me and not giving up on me. I love you guys. Bo M from the 290th District Court. Drug court gave me the opportunity to remember how life feels sober and healthy. It's been over a decade since I've been consistently sober, and I feel amazing. Isaac M from the 187th District. I am truly thankful to my case managers and counselor, Ashley, Vanessa, and Nancy, who helped me to get through this program. Nancy helped me get through the group therapy, listened to me, and gave me sound advice. I'm truly grateful to all who helped me in any way. Thanks to Judge Glenn for pushing me to be better myself, stay sober, and succeed. Peter M from the 290th. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to Judge Glenn, Kathy Johnson, David Simler, Frenchie Garcia, Victoria Spicer, Tammy Elaine Banfield, and Sylvia Kemp. They believed in me and taught me to believe in myself. They held me accountable for my actions and showed me that with determination and hard work, anything is possible. John N. Judge Glenn and the staff at drug court have been sincere and genuine about my recovery and treatment while in the program. If not for their genuine sincerity, I probably would have relapsed. Thank you, drug court, for your compassion and unending support.
Juan M. from the 187th District Court. El juez fue una persona que me ayudó más al tener un programa con un ambiente acogedor. Ese ambiente me motivó a ser una mejor persona y acabar mi primer curso. También quisiera agradecer al oficial Hewitt por ayudarme en esta jornada, por ser una persona bondadosa y por dirigirme hacia un sendero mejor en mi vida. Judge Glenn helped me in the most in giving atmosphere and motivating me to be a better and finish my course in the program. I also want to thank Officer Hewitt for helping me along this journey, for being a kind person and directing me to a better path.
Christina O. from the 399th District. Judge Glenn, Francesca Garcia, and Elfred Fajardo gave me the opportunity to be a better version of myself and supported me through the program. Thank you for everything. Without you, I do not know where I would be. Mark P. from the 187th District Court. I would like to thank all of the drug court staff and the lead counseling, Patrick, for all the support. Thank you, Judge Glenn, for your understanding. Marissa R. from the 290th District Court. My experience in drug court has been uncomfortable yet riveting roller coaster. I've been able to dig deep into my emotions and the trauma caused by my accident. Every one of the drug court staff, whether they were assigned to me or not, provided tremendous help with my case and trial. I really appreciate the guidance and support provided to help me uncover the young woman I am becoming. Thank you to everyone for your faith and encouragement in me throughout the process. 290. I was firm in my recovery and had made a lot of progress when I relapsed on February 28, 21. My whole team came together, including Judge Glenn, to turn me around. It really lit a fire in me, and that I could do this program. Thank you, everyone. Matthew S. from the 290. Thank you, CJ, for holding me accountable throughout this whole program and never giving up on me. Also to Judge Glenn for sending me to the right facilities that allow me to work on my problems and myself. Gloria T. from the 227th District. Judge Glenn, my sponsor, case manager, counselors, and PO have helped me to stay clean and live a healthier lifestyle. I can say that that responsibility has a lot to do with the person I have become. Thank you, Drug Court, my sponsor, case manager, and Judge Glenn. Preston W. from 298. Judge Glenn saw potential in me when I was lost. I never thought I would be sober or even wanted to. Judge Glenn, my case manager, Elsa, refused to give up on me or let me down. For that, I owe my life. Thomas W. from 187. I want to thank my whole team that the drug court put together for me. Mrs. Garcia, Elsa, Tammy, and Paul. The UA line and treatment helped as well. Again, congratulations to all the graduates. And in closing, we'll have the benediction with Eloy Fernandez. Eloy is a retired felony drug court officer and felony drug court case manager. He currently serves as the drug court chaplain.
Thank you. Let us say, let us bow our heads and pray. Loving Father, today is indeed a blessed day in which we recognize the gift of your graduates who have begun to live a new way, a new path with a renewed heart, committed to sobriety and treasuring a family that needs your love. It is in the spirit of love of family that each drug court participant is a part of when engaging with counselors, case managers, probation officers, and judges, as each is willing to have blind faith in your success. Bexar County is blessed to have compassionate judges who continue to be instrumental in changing people's lives by being open and providing new opportunities for treatment and recovery of individuals for the benefit of a family unit. As children, we walked, spoke, and behaved as children. But as we mature to grown adults, we put on discipline and begin to behave, speak with authority, and maintain a positive outlook in life in the midst of challenges. As a family, we begin to have confidence in making or asking for help and support of others. But most importantly, we understand the gift of life and how God is instrumental in placing specific people in our path to help carry the load. Loving Father, thank you for allowing us to be witnesses of this life-changing day and for granting those watching by YouTube to be instrumental by their continued support. In your name we pray. Amen.